Hello, beautiful people. How you doing today? Welcome back to Noxious Masculinity, where we are putting an end to toxic masculinity and the battle of the sexes. We're doing this with communication and understanding. So, last session that we had, we talked about women always telling the truth, your rules of engagement when engaging with your woman, and how men grow and how women grow. And if you want to know more about that, then you can tune into the last session. But for today's session, we will be talking about two things. The first thing that we're going to be talking about is how toleration leads to resentment, and how this starts off, and what leads to this sense of tolerating your woman is it usually stems from her unhealthy moods according to yourself, and you not being able to understand her moods. And you get to this point of where you're walking on shells, on eggshells, we would say, and you feel as though, your job is to do whatever it takes to make her happy in this moment. And sometimes that stems from your own relationships that you've had with your parents. And a lot of times it just comes from a lack of information, because as a man, you're just taught to please and make people happy, and then that's it. But when it comes to this, your job isn't to just simply tolerate these moods and then find a pacifier to, shut these moods up. And usually, when you get to this point of tolerating unhealthy moods, and you just decide that I'm just going to do whatever it takes to make her feel happy in this very moment, what ends up happening, and you don't try to find the deeper meaning, is, or maybe not the deeper meaning, but you get to a point where you're just there, and you just do whatever it takes to make her happy, and you end up trying to escape your role as a man in her life. And your job in the relationship, and both parties' jobs in the relationship, is to serve. Relationships are a business of serving someone else, and it's serving them in a point of where they can grow. And when you look to escape that role in relationships, what ends up happening is it leads to a sense of disappointment, and you end up harboring feelings within yourself that you don't communicate well, because as a man, you're always trying to just tolerate her feelings or find ways of getting away from her feelings. And when you realize that you're in the business of serving, your job is in a way to participate into these things. And it's easy for you as a man to get frustrated and resentful when you are unskilled and unprepared on how it is and what it is that you were supposed to do in penetrating your woman's emotional, um, swings with love. And a lot of times we try to find what is the particular problem, and we're looking for this golden key that's going to unlock the door. And sometimes it doesn't take that. What it ends up happening is that a lot of times it ends up being that you just need to listen. And sometimes it's hard for us as men to understand the difference between just listening and giving our opinion. And so when you start to realize that, okay, here's what my job is to do when these mood swings change. Maybe she needs somebody that's just there for her, that can allow her to express herself. Or maybe she needs somebody to just hug her and give her a kiss. And instead of trying to find the particular reason that has caused this mood, or doing things to make them feel better, You have to learn to participate and penetrate her with your love. And a easy reminder for this is that when the mood swings do happen, or when the change of attitude occurs, and for you it is unexpectedly, you have to realize that it is not entirely her fault that she is in a quote unquote bitchy mood or she's complaining, but it's often a reflection of her lack of feeling love or being penetrated by love. Women happen to have a gift of being able to feel the vibrations, feel the energy and the flow of love. And the moment that they're not feeling this flow of love, or maybe something has occurred that has brought them back to a time when love wasn't flowing, your job is to be this foundation and stable of love in her life. And a lot of times as men, we think that it's the other way around. And at times it can be, but your job is to be this place that she can always go to receive and be penetrated by this loves and by this love. And it takes a certain amount of strength within yourself and um, understanding of this role to know when it's time to be this. And when you are going through these times of, she's going through her different things and you are looking to serve her and you are looking to be this service of love that she needs when she needs it. Um, and you're doing this constantly and you begin to feel like you're unable to open her up and you're unable to allow her the ability to see within herself what it is that she is going through at that moment. And you constantly get this shut door of, when you're trying to penetrate her and get to the root of where it is she is missing the love. Sometimes you get to a point where you feel like, hey, I've done everything that I've can. Um, I've tried to be this service of love as much as I could in this relationship, and I just can't get her to open up to me. Sometimes, you when you get to that point, the healthy thing to do would be to give all your love. And if you're not able to, penetrate her with your love, then you might have been somebody that was just there for her character development. And hopefully she'll understand in the long run and you might have to let that relationship go. But the only way to let these relationships go after, getting past the stage of we're so into each other and we're having a lot of sex, and now the relationship is gotten to a point where we now have to actually serve each other's growth from the past things, the current things, and the things that'll occur in the future. When these moments get too hard and you're unable to penetrate your woman and she doesn't allow you to penetrate her, you want to be able to know that you've given everything that you can, and you don't want to leave the relationship with resentment in your heart. And the only way to leave a relationship without resentment in your heart is to not simply tolerate her feelings, but to participate in her feelings and know that you have a role in her growth. And it may take some time for you to get to that point where you can understand that, or it may take some time for her to truly open up to you. But you have to understand that when it comes to these fluctuations of unhealthy moods, your job is to be the rock that she can rely on when it comes to love. And simply tolerating her emotions and just trying to figure out what will pacify it is not something that will lead to a healthy relationship. And so a goal for this is to learn to not necessarily just talk about her moods. And you say, oh well, yesterday you felt like this and then you were happy and then you felt like this once I said this. this sense of talking about her actual moods is not what you want to be doing. What you want to do, excuse me, is participate in those moods when she is feeling you know down and out, and she starts to cry. Maybe you might want to come through and hug her, give her a kiss, and try to find out what it is that she needs by listening to her, and just tell her, hey, talk to me. What is it that's going on? And a lot of times you'll learn that you're participating in loving her is a lot of times just being ears for her and allowing her to work out these moods within herself. But if you come trying to give suggestions, or you try to pacify these moods with, I'll give you some money, or, let's go here and let's go out on a date, or let's have sex, you're not participating in the growth of her. And usually, the greatest way of participating in her growth is being somebody that is engaged in her feelings, and someone that is willing to allow her to communicate what these feelings truly are. And a lot of times that takes being fearless in being able to, be there for her throughout the times when she acts like a wounded dog and she snaps and she barks at you. You have to be willing to be fearless to take on these moments and continuously love her, because this type of love is going to, penetrate her and get her to the point where she can have closure with maybe something that happened in her childhood, or maybe something that happened at work, or maybe something that went on with her friends, or, maybe it's just something that she's thinking about for her future. You have to be a willing participant in these emotions. And, if she can get to these points, which most of us can, we can overcome the things in our past that lead us to these different emotional states by ourselves. But what would be the reason of this person being in your life, and what is the purpose of you being in their life if you're not helping them achieve this goal? And a lot of times we have to see ourselves as that very thing that is helping this person achieve their growth. And so you have to keep in mind that relationships are all about serving the other's growth, from past things, current things, and future things. And to get into our second topic, which goes along with what we were talking about, is our second topic is never analyze your woman. Analyzation of your woman is definitely a no-go. Um, a lot of times when women are having these unhealthy moods, or what we call as men mood swings, um, we don't understand them. And so we try to analyze them. We try to give them information on how it is and why it is they're acting the way that they're acting, instead of, participating in how it is that they're acting. And we fail to realize that women are like water. And so what that means is that, you have to visualize in yourself that a woman is like the ocean. And there's moments and times when the tide is low. There's also moments in time when the tide is high. And there is no single source that causes these ups and downs of the water and how the water's moving, or if there's a storm out in the water. There's never usually a single source. There's usually a multitude of things that has thrown off her feeling of love and joy. And we as men forget that, her moods and her opinions are fluctuating from gentle to severe, and they don't have a single source. And that we look at ourselves as, okay, what have we done? Or what is it that someone else has done that we can do to, help change this fluctuation of moods? And we try to analyze this like we would some game tape of, okay, well, if we had did this and that, then it would be better. And, if I, took her to eat instead of taking her to the park, I don't know, we look at it as ways of analyzing the things that we have done within ourselves or the things that she could have done better to keep her from feeling this way. Sometimes it comes to that where we analyze, well, if you had not just listened to the people at work, and we try to give a lot of information and facts about things. And this is very detrimental to your relationship with your woman. You never want to analyze her moods. You want to be there for those moods. And you have to realize, again, I mean, it's something that is tough for us as men, but there's no seed, one single seed that caused all of this. There's no single trigger or reason that caused this change in mood. And, we have to learn to see a woman as a storm, a breeze, a change in weather. And these changes in weathers or these storms or these breezes have these highs and lows. And it usually stems from the system of love. And the reason why she is feeling the way she is not a single reason, but it comes from the source of her not feeling love. And there's an area of which she's not feeling loved, and there's no single way of determining where it is. That is usually for her to decide and for her to figure out within herself what are the multiple things that have led her to feel this way. And so when she feels the flow of love, her moods can change instantly. Meaning, you guys got home from work and she felt the way about something, and now her mood is in a bad mood. And instead of, going and saying, hey, is there something that you would like me to do as a man in learning your woman and being there for her and being this source of love? There's things that you can do that can facilitate the change in mood to joy. And so just as quickly as her mood can change into anger or being sad, her mood can change into joy once she feels this flow of love. And, to understand that when she feels the flow of love, her mood can change instantly, regardless of what the reason is, then you can, realize that when a mood that she's having is not something that you were looking forward to having, let's say she's in an angry mood, well, then you can be the source that says, okay, where is it that I can love her at? Where is it that I can show her that I appreciate her? Or where is it that I can show her that I support her? And usually when you keep these things in mind, instead of trying to analyze and figure out and give her information to change this mood, when you are keeping in mind that, hey, this is my route that I should take. Where can I love her? Where can I support her? And where can I show her that she's appreciated? That is the way that you change her mood. And if you understand that 90% of women's emotional issues usually stem from a feeling of being unloved, and there's not a single reason of where it is that has caused these change in emotions. And if you understand that if she at this moment in time she's sad, she must be feeling unloved, or at this moment in time she's angry, so she must be feeling unloved. Whenever emotional states that occur in the relationship that you're unable to comprehend, just assume that you should associate it with her not feeling feelings of love, support, and appreciation. So a goal for you when it comes to this is the next time that she's in a bad mood, you assume that she's not feeling loved, appreciated, or supported, do something without her having to ask that shows her, I love you, baby, I support you, baby, I appreciate you. And this could be done in a multiple of ways, and it comes from you being able to have the intelligence of what's going on in your relationships. But a lot of time, just listening is a very, very good foundation to start with. Or doing something like, say you live together, and she normally does the cooking. You cook for her tonight. Or maybe she normally does the dishes. You go and do the dishes that day that she was having a bad day. And instead of trying to talk her through these emotions and just showing her that you love her and showing her that you appreciate and support her, a lot of times this will be the very thing that flips the switch of emotions that she's going through. And yeah, so that's pretty much what the lesson is about today. It's hard for us to understand as men because we're not taught that loving your woman deeply and steadily and strongly, and also, in a sensitive way, this is what promotes growth and healthy communication in your relationship. Not by simply tolerating these things or trying to pacify these things, and definitely not by analyzing these emotions and trying to tell them what to do with these emotions. A lot of times it comes from, okay, where can I be of assistance in these emotions? And that is um something that we have to keep in mind when we are in relationships, especially with somebody that we truly care about and that we want to see grow not only in the relationship but within themselves. We have to realize that we're here to serve them, and we're here to serve these fluctuation of emotions by giving and not by trying to understand and tolerate. Yeah, so to pretty much sum up the lesson for today, never tolerate, never analyze, and understand that relationships are in the service of giving. Um, Last session we had a question of the day, and so my response for the question of the day, which was who should be the leader in the relationship. And I think that in the world that we're in, we tend to assume that whoever is the breadwinner is the leader. And sometimes as a man, we feel like we have a lack of purpose in the relationship if we're not the breadwinner. And you can still be the leader in your relationship without being the breadwinner in today's time. And how you lead in your relationship is by constantly being a source of love and protection and being reliable in your relationship. And usually, the one who is the most reliable in the relationship should be the leader. And, hopefully that is you, because this is what pushes forward your masculinity within yourself, is being able to be reliable. And if you're not the most reliable, and you should have a self awareness of who you are, and if you are reliable, then that is the person who should be the leader in the relationship, in my personal opinion, is whomever is the most reliable person when it comes to love, when it comes to um, always doing what is right and what's necessary for the time being. And if your woman happens to be that, then you have to man up and allow her to be the leader in that situation. But you never want it to be where it's constantly that way, because you will lose some of your masculinity. Your job as a masculine is to be that reliable source, and your woman's job is to be the flow of love in the relationship. And if everybody plays their part, then the relationship is constantly moving forward. You know, you have to look at it as you're the left pedal, she's the right pedal, and this is what moves you forward. You being reliable, her being the flow of love, and that is what moves your relationship forward. So the new question of the day is, or the question of the day for today, which is, when do you give up on a relationship? And I would love to hear the feedback from you all of when you think is a good time to say, hey, we've done everything that we could in this relationship, has, you know, reached its apex and it's no longer causing us growth. Or, you know, when is it a point in time that you give up on a relationship? Or do you never give up on a relationship? Would love to hear your feedback on that. Also, the book of the day is Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. A lot of times when you think of this book, or if you've ever heard of this book, you think of it as a way to seduce the opposite sex or seduce someone of your liking to, um, I guess, get them in your life or have what it is that you would like to have for them. But if you look at this book in a way of understanding how it is that the human mind works and how it is that the feminine mind works, you'll be able to use these ways of penetrating your woman and seducing your woman. And if you look at your relationship in a way where you're constantly seducing your woman, then your woman will never get bored of you. And so I think that The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene is a great way of understanding and going along with today's lesson and also future and past lessons too. I think it's a very good book to read and to understand. And, you know, like anything, you can use it in a negative way, but if you use it in a positive way, I think it's very, very helpful. Um, so that pretty much ends the session for today. Um, just those two topics that I kind of really wanted to get into. And hopefully you were able to learn something from that. Hopefully I didn't over talk it or, you know, overdid it and didn't make sense and was redundant with it. Sometimes I feel that way about things, but I just try to get the point across so that you can prepare yourself and your relationship for things when they come. Also, we'll end with our confirmations like we always do, which is I am, therefore I am happy, therefore I am loving, therefore I am honest, therefore I am dedicated, therefore I am positive, therefore I am favored, therefore I am powerful, therefore I am wise, therefore I am understanding, therefore I am purposeful. Therefore, I will forgive myself should I come short of my ideals one day at a time. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, we can see you on the next session. And hopefully, you can watch some of the previous sessions as well. This is something that I plan on leaving up for everybody, not just you, but myself, that we can all learn from and grow. Once again, thank you for watching. Stay suave, stay safe, and I will see you on the next session.